Hey, Traverse Mornings, Rob Mave. Guys, I think we got a pretty interesting video this morning. Going to talk about sugar, old devil sugar. How I was able to quit, pretty much. You know, the other day I was filling this jar up, and I thought to myself, in the past, this jar would last me about a week and a half. Now this jar will last me about 8 months. Um, it was not easy. Used to have a powerful sweet tooth, but by doing different things, I was able to reduce it down to, well, practically nothing. So let's go over how I was able to quit sugar. First of all, I think you got to have three things. Number one, you have to have good reasons to quit sugar. You know, if you're going to a fight and other people are bringing people, if you want to bring people too, don't just have one good reason. You should have more than one good reason. If you just have one good reason to quit sugar, that might not be enough. So get several. I had several. I'll talk about them in a few minutes. The second thing after you have really good reasons to quit sugar is very simply, this is probably the only fun part of the whole thing. Come up with those things in your diet that have sugar, then think of substitutions that would be tasty and something you'd want to continue to eat. uh, Next is the hard part. The hardest part is actually the fight where you have to start making those substitutions. And I found the best way for me was to go after the biggest guy first. You know, if it doesn't work for you, after you try to get rid of the biggest sugar in your life, start at the bottom then. What's the least amount of sugar and knock that out, whatever works. The thing is, don't quit. Like, you want to quit sugar, don't quit trying to stop sugar. You always want to get to the road yes. Don't go to the road no. We know where the road no leads. We want to go to yes. We want to quit sugar. So keep one thing doesn't work, get another thing. So those three things. What were my substitutions? The first one, oh, by the way, a lot of people, some people, maybe one person, I don't know. I think there's some people out there that believe you got to go cold turkey. To me, I have a saying, cold turkey is for dead ducks. If you think you're going to die, then cold turkey probably is going to work. But for me, cold turkey is difficult. So if in cases where I thought I was going to die, yeah, it'll work maybe. Whoa, I forgot what my reasons. My reasons, they're going to be different from yours, but I had AFib and paroxysmal AFib, and it was killing me. And I read one of the cofactors was if you're overweight. I wasn't obese, but I wasn't light, so I was like 210, 215. So I was able to lose weight. I'm about close to 190 now. And my AFib, I had ablation. I'm fine. Been for 4 years now, God bless. But I don't want it to come back, so I want to make sure I maintain a really good weight. And I'm still working on it. The second reason was I know sugar makes a lot of inflammation in the body, and who needs that? It causes a lot of other problems. You know the drill. The third thing is I've been trying to eat a better diet, and if you look into diets, you go crazy, because right now you can go on YouTube and find 3 doctors. Each one will tell you a completely different opinion and how you should have a diet, and it's like you go crazy. Like, who do you believe? So what I started doing is I try to eat things that have a lot of nutrition. If there's 2 similar things, which one has the most nutrients? And you can find 3 doctors, and none of them will tell you this has any nutrition. You won't find any doctors. You won't find anybody that says, yes, pure cane sugar, pure beet sugar has nutrition. So you're not going to find it. So that's well, those were my 3 reasons. They're pretty good reasons. What were my substitutions? One of the most difficult ones out of everything was soda. This has been a long time ago, but I would go to a girlfriend's house. She'd have soda, and I'd drink soda. You want to be neighborly, you want to be friendly, you don't want to judge what they're drinking. You're going to be drinking it too. So when I would go home, I'm thinking, I don't have any soda in the house, and I feel like a soda. And then more and more, I'm wanting the soda. Pretty soon, I'm thinking, I need to get in my car and drive somewhere and get some Dr. Pepper. Then I realized, this is not good. This is like an addiction. So I'd be visiting family, friends, and have a soda. Then I go home. I want another soda. It's like, that stuff is pretty powerful. If you're trying to quit sodas, it's not as easy. It's something simple. Everybody at Coke is what's good for you. Like, it's tough to get rid of soda. So I found there's several things I think work. One of them worked for me. I think one thing that would help people are those soda stream devices where it carbonates water and you can add flavors. They've come down in price a lot. I've seen them, like Phillips makes one for like $30 or $40. I think where I have taken soda bottles and added water and then add like a spoonful of juice and then get it cold and pour it over ice, and there's no carbonation, but you get the mental image psychologically that you're drinking soda. That's kind of helpful. The thing that worked for me was this. We'll talk about tea and coffee in a minute, but in relation to soda, I started every night before I go to bed, I would put a green tea bag in this mug with water and a little bit of sprinkling of powdered ginger. Excuse me. And I'd microwave for 2 minutes. Then after it cooled down, put it in the refrigerator, go to bed. The next day, I would have this with ice cubes. And then after I finished drinking it, I would add more water. Then it wouldn't be as flavorful, but it'd still have a really strong flavor from the leftover ginger and then a little bit of the tea. And maybe later I'd add more water. So I never felt like the need to drink soda or juice or any other things. It's become everyday beverage, and there's practically no calories, and there's zero sugar, and it's a very pleasant replacement. Plus, it's kind of healthy. I think the green tea is supposed to, help you see around corners. I don't know, it's supposed to be good for you, and ginger is supposed to be pretty decent too. It's very good for some things. So, if you're trying to stop soda, that's what one of those three I would try. The next thing was coffee and tea. When I got my AFib, I had to stop coffee and tea, and that was really difficult. When it went away, eventually I started drinking 1 cup of coffee a day, and then the tea, but very little tea in there. But the coffee, I really miss sugar in coffee. I mean, this black coffee didn't taste good, and I was starting to add sugar to my coffee. So I said, I don't want to go with that route. So what I did, there was no sugar in the house. I got some molasses, blackstrap molasses, unsulfured. Molasses is sweet, but here's the deal. If you want something sweet in your coffee, molasses will make it sweet, but it'll give it this god-awful strange flavor to where if you drink it enough, you're never going to want sugar in your coffee again. It's like you rewire your brain. So if you got to have sugar with your tea, you got to have sugar with your coffee, get some molasses. That'll solve your sugar in your tea problem and sugar in your coffee problem. That'll work really good. So if you're trying to get rid of coffee and tea with sugar, unrelated, if you're trying to get rid of coffee, it's made in Germany. It's called Pero, P-E-R-O. It's the best coffee substitute I came across. But I just drink regular coffee now, but just 1 cup a day with iced coffee. There's other things I jones, like I really got to have sometimes a craving for ice cream. I found 2 of the best things for frozen treats for ice cream was if you get grapes that you like. I forgot the ones the big purple ones, but whatever ones you like, grapes, freeze them. Then if you feel like you want something sweet and cold and in your mouth just like ice cream, have a frozen grape. It's an excellent dessert, and it's not as good as strawberry ice cream, but it's not bad. Another thing is you freeze bananas and mash them up or put them in the blender. It makes a really nice frozen dessert. So if you're a frozen dessert person, you got to have your Ben and Jerry's. Try bananas, try the frozen grapes. That should help you get rid of your hunger for those 2 things. Next is like snack cakes. If you're always eating cakes and pies and stuff, if you get Fig Newtons, first of all, if you put your snacks in the freezer, you're going to eat much less of them, and they're going to taste better. But you eventually want to wean yourself off of them. If you're trying to get rid of the sugar, I would get some Fig Newtons and freeze them and just eat maybe a couple a day or something. If you've got a health problem, you don't want to be eating any sugar. But if you're healthy, but you're just trying to get rid of your sugar, then I think for me, I use the Fig Newtons now and then. Now, what about natural sugar substitutes that aren't the things I mentioned? Well, once you stop eating sugar, things that are sweet are extra sweet. So I can eat carrots, uh, apples, uh, raisins, uh, berries. I'll make a little shake at night with some berries. There's some people say you should never eat berries because they have too much sugar, or you shouldn't eat too many apples because they have too much sugar. But if you're a healthy person, I mean, you're a very healthy person, and you're just eating an apple and maybe a little bit of berries, and that's killing you. Maybe you were supposed to die anyway. I'm just saying, But if you take some carrots and some apples and put them in a juicer and get that juice nice and cold, that's better than any ice cream I've ever had. It's just incredible. But it's too much sugar. It's a lot of sugar. But I don't go crazy on the. I have a little bit of raisins, a little bit of berries. The berries I got turned on to by Dr. Greger. He reported about so many different studies that showed the blueberry was supposed to be good. So I get the dried blueberries and I soak them for 24 hours and I make a little shake. So just like a couple of spoonfuls makes me a little shake. It's just excellent. So what about those fake sweeteners and diet soda? I'm kind of old, and over the years I've seen constantly they come out with these new sweeteners, and eventually they say, well, maybe that artificial sweetener wasn't a good idea. So I'm kind of, and as far as diet soda, diet soda is the devil. Diet soda is probably the worst because, you don't really taste it and like you think, you're doing the right thing. And it's just like, oh, there's something, there's something. I think I'd rather just have Pepsi than diet soda because it's just like, you don't substitute with diet sodas. Um, what else? Well, guys, I think if you're trying to quit sugar, um, I just use sugar now, and when I make the bread, I add some because the yeast like it. And when I make a big pot of beans, I'll add like a spoonful of vinegar and a spoonful of sugar. And sometimes I make a sauce. I add a little bit of sugar, but basically, um, this will last months and months and months. So if anybody needs any molasses, let me know. I'll fix you up. That's enough the next 20 years probably. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Hope this was something helpful. And I've got a bunch of videos on my channel, about 1,200. I put new stuff on every week, and you never know what you're going to find. And hope you all come back and watch more. All right, guys, take care. Now, let's go get some strawberry ice cream.